I rode a roller coaster for 104 minutes. Actually, probably longer than that. I think they let me go a few more times because I'd stop, and I had two daughters that one would go on with me, and this was in the front car of the roller coaster. 104 minutes or more, and my daughters would like switch off and on. Like they'll take a few rides with me, and then get sick, and then the next one would get on, and she'd get sick and get off, and then the next we'd go back and forth. But 104 minutes, I believe. Yeah, it was probably a little bit more.
And that's the voice of Nolan. Last time he was talking about his years at Z-104 in Washington, D.C. That's where he began the reading program for kids, which has continued to this day. And here's more stories about that as our conversation concludes with Nolan.
It was fun. Yeah, the reading program was really awesome. I'd read a lot of Shel Silverstein stories from like Where the Sidewalk Ends and things like that. I can't think of any right off the top of my head because there's so many of them. I read, most of them, and just talked about how important it is to, open a book and read, and be proficient in it, and I think that started me telling stories on the radio because I did it here in L.A. too as well.
Yeah, that's right.
All the way up until COVID, I did it for 20 years.
Wow,
isn't that crazy? Yeah.
In fact, I think the last time you ever did it, I joined you.
That's right.
At Olive Crest Foster Adoption Agency.
That's right. Yes. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
It was. I remember we went to Arby's before that. America's Roast Beef, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. One of my favorite stories, and we both told it. You told it, and I told it to other kids, is this place in Australia it's a kind of a tourist place. So the roads always get beat up because there's so many people there always, and they have to close it off and fix it on a regular basis. And the workmen would, at the end of the day, close off the road and put pylons up so that you can't go this way because they're still repairing it. The next day they'd come in and they'd see that the pylons are gone and the embankments are open. There's nothing. The cones are gone, and they would, somebody would get yelled at and said, "Hey, did you forget to do the cones last night?" "No, I didn't. I put them on there." "Well, they're not open there now." And this went on for about a week, and they couldn't figure out what was going on. So they put a camera up there to find out who was moving the cones. It's somebody pulling a prank or something like that. And it turns out after they watched it, they couldn't believe their eyes when they discovered that the cones were moved by some very smart birds. Go figure.
Love it.
Who would have thought about that?
Yeah, I wish the birds would remove some cones here in Southern California.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, I know. It's fun here. I love SoCal, man. SoCal is really cool. The beaches are the best. I'm telling you, it's. Unfortunately, though, what's happening in the fire is there's no way you can get to Santa Monica and in those areas. It's just really it's a tough place. We used to go to Santa Monica almost every weekend. It was a great place to go.
Also a good place to ride your bike from Santa Monica to Venice.
Oh, you could go forever. Yes. Oh, man, you could go forever. I rode my bike from Santa Monica to, past Huntington Beach. Way past Huntington Beach. Yeah, the bikeway along the water is incredible. Yeah, you can't miss it. If you like to bike, and I do, man, it's great. It is so great. The air is so clear. It's so beautiful. And the people are so cool, too.
It's funny. I remember as a 10-year-old riding from Santa Monica to Venice and back. Venice was a very kind of hippie-like community and stuff.
No, really?
And riding the bicycle underneath the Santa Monica Pier, which I didn't realize at the time was almost 100 years old even then.
Oh, wow.
It was pretty old. I'm not sure if it was 100 yet, but I think it is now.
That's cool, though. It's a little tunnel where, if you're hot and you're in the sun forever, and then all of a sudden you go underneath the pier.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great.
My dad, when I was a kid, sometimes we'd be swimming underneath the pier because it was away from the sun and kind of like in a sheltered area. And that was really, really cool. Although the pier is not as big as it used to be. It used to be a lot longer, but in 1983, there were a lot of storms in the ocean. Storms, the waves just washed it away, and so they had to rebuild the pier, at least from where it was over the ocean.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
But they've done a lot of renovations, including that giant Ferris wheel and the
roller coaster.
The roller coaster.
I was going to bring that up. You ever go on that thing?
Have not been. Have you?
It's cool.
Wow.
It's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. I love coasters.
What other, since you were in a lot of markets, any amusement parks in the different markets that you...
Yes. I know where you're going with this. I worked at a place called Extra 104, and it became Z-104. Mm-hmm. But I think prior to that, was I at Extra 104? I guess it had turned Z-104, and I challenged on the air if they would allow me to ride it for 104 minutes. Mm. And I did.
Wow.
I rode a roller coaster for 104 minutes, and actually probably longer than that. I think they let me go a few more times because I'd stop, and I had two daughters that one would go on with me, mm-hmm. and this was in the front car of the roller coaster.
Wow.
I was in the front car, 104 minutes or more, and my daughters would like switch off and on. Mm-hmm. Like they'll take a few rides with me, and then get sick, and then the next one would get on, and she'd get sick and get off, and then the next we'd go back and forth. But 104 minutes, I believe. Yeah, it was probably a little bit more.
Wow. Do you know what the name of the roller coaster was by chance?
The Wild One, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the Wild One.
Wow.
So I'm pretty sure. And actually, you know what? The weird thing was.
What city was this? Do you remember?
It was in Marlow Heights.
Oh, okay.
In where were they? I think they were in Marlow Heights. Mm. It's the American. What was it called? I can't remember the name of the amusement park. I think they're still there. Mm-hmm. The really odd, weird thing is the first time I ever rode a roller coaster was in Nantasket Beach in Massachusetts, and it was an old wooden roller coaster, and they tore it down, and they rebuilt it at that place where I rode the roller coaster. It wasn't the same one mm-hmm. that I rode. But they rebuilt that roller coaster from Nantasket Beach in Massachusetts to Marlow Heights in Maryland, and I rode it. Yeah, when I saw it, it was great. And I was actually talking to somebody who was like in charge, and I said, "Is this the same one from Nantasket Beach?" Mm-hmm. Yes, we just replaced all the wood, mm-hmm. and we gave it an upgrade. And my wife was actually able to secure a piece of the original and she gave it to me for Christmas.
Wow.
And it was just this big, board, a white board. It was painted white, and it was all old, and it had like holes where bolts would be and things like that. And I said, "What is this?" And she said, "That is from your first roller coaster in Nantasket Beach. I was able to, when they rebuilt it, I got a piece of it. I thought this would be a really good Christmas gift." Wow. That woman thinks.
Was that Paragon Park by chance?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. You see the big white, is the white roller coaster there, or is it not?
This is a postcard of it, but it says it closed in 1984, which is kind of weird to think. Oh, wait a minute.
No, it was around.
Oh, the Wild One at Six Flags.
Yeah, Six Flags.
One,
yeah.
Wooden roller coaster, Six Flags Great America.
Yep.
And Prince George's County, Maryland. So
yes.
I guess Six Flags America is the name of the
right. I totally just forgot about it. It's been so long since I lived there. But
wow.
Yeah, cool.
That's cool.
The Wild One, front row. I got to tell you though, after that day of riding the roller coaster 104 minutes or whatever it was, or 104 times, or who knows.
Looks like Colossus at Magic Mountain almost.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. And they're all kind of the same in some ways. But I just got I didn't get on a roller coaster after that for a while. As you can imagine.
Yeah. Now, did it make the news locally that you had gone on this roller coaster for 104 minutes straight?
I don't know. I don't know. I know we were talking about it, and I was. And oh, by the way, I was on the air live too at the same time. I had a little pack on, and so I could talk, and I could, people could hear me screaming on the radio.
So you're introducing the song while screaming on the roller coaster.
Yeah, something like that. It was It wasn't all that. It was like, hey, I'm still out here, and I'm on the roller coaster still. I'm getting dizzy. I didn't eat anything, thank goodness, before I got on here, and everything's okay, I think, sort of.
I was going to ask you, did you eat anything before that?
No.
Oh, good.
No, I knew it was going to be, they said, hey, let's do something fun. And then we figured it out that, okay, let's put Nolan on the old roller coaster. I like roller coasters. Not so much anymore. No, I'm just kidding. I still love them. Roller coasters are great.
Well, it probably took less time to recover for that than when Hugh Hewitt had his producer Dwayne for Disneyland's 50th anniversary. He had Dwayne ride It's a Small World 50 times in a row.
Oh, that's punishment. Did he not like him?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder.
It's a small world. Hey, look at the dolls.
And then the 13th time around, my eventual supervisor joined Dwayne, and so he rode Small World, I think, 33 times in a row. Yeah. Also, the next year, he had Dwayne ride Pirates of the Caribbean 51 times in a row.
Ouch.
Although he only rode it 38 times because the park ended up closing. Because Small World is about 8 minutes long in length, but Pirates is about 15 minutes long, but really more 20 because of the line that they have waiting for the boats to go back to shore and let back off on the loading dock. So, and then he had Dwayne another year ride all Fast Pass rides, both at the Magic Kingdom and California Adventure. He did it just in the nick of time, but then it was like, you didn't do it. It was like, what you got on? You didn't.
Nah, you didn't do it. Get out of here, you big phony.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun to think about. But so you probably got on a roller coaster sooner than Dwayne got back on Small World.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I haven't. I can't remember the last time I rode a roller coaster. It's been a while. Probably at Knott's Berry Farm. I think we did it together. As a matter of fact,
that's right. Yeah,
we were a part of that. That was a good time.
It was. Yeah.
Just hanging out with JJ, dudes. That's what I do.
Yeah, this is great. Any other cool roller coasters or amusement parks you liked during your radio days in other markets?
Well, there was a time when Disney was very generous and allowed radio people to go down there and do their shows. And we used to do it on Main Street. And all the presentations that would happen, I was working on a morning show, and we would go down there and hear all of the practices ahead of time. And we're on the air at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
That's right.
And that's when they practice. That's when they rehearse all that stuff. So you can hear, you're on the air, and you have all these like bands moving by and dances and presentations and things. It was just kind of neat to see like behind the curtain at Disney World, and that was fun. They'd fly us down and put us in a hotel and talk about the wonderful things that are going on at Disney. And we had a den mother that would be with us, who was somebody that one of the Disney employees, and it would make sure. I remember I was working with Brian Wilson at the time and Bob Madigan. We were down there, and we would say, "Hey, we're down here at Disney," and the den mom would say, "It's Walt Disney," and we kept on messing that up, and we just, Hey, we're having a good time here at Disney. Just did the Pirates of the Caribbean, and we're going to go and do this and all this other stuff. So come on and join us sometime in Disney. And she was like, "Shh, it's Walt Disney." And Brian Wilson got on the air at one point and said, "We just want to make something clear. We want to clarify something for our Disney people here, that we don't want you to mistake that this is Walt Disney that we're at. We know that there's a Fred Disney down the street with a tilt-a-whirl and a somersault machine or something. So we just want you to make sure that we're here at Walt Disney, not Fred Disney, and we just want to make sure that that's clear. So thank you. Have a wonderful day."
It's funny you mentioned that, because on different Disney fan pages like Mice Chat and Mouse Planet, a lot of people refer to California Adventure as DCA, and for Disney California Adventure, which is the full name, but people say California Adventure or DCA, and some are saying Disneyland management hates it when guests call it either DCA or California Adventure. They want the full title.
Yes.
And so
that was a thing.
That's what it reminds me of, because I confess I call it DCA or just California Adventure, or even like Star Wars Land instead of Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge, which is the real name, but it's so much easier to just say Star Wars Land. Well, because you got Cars Land.
They're trying to brand. It's all branded.
Oh,
you know what I mean? It's like Walt Disney. Okay, thank you very much. Don't forget it.
We've got Walt's older brother Roy to thank for that one, because originally it was supposed to be called Disney World, but then when Walt died, his older brother Roy said, "Let's call it Walt Disney World in tribute to him," and that's what
and rightly so. It should be. You know, if it's his place, call it Walt Disney. That's fine.
But I still think that's funny. I guess we'll have to find Fred Disney's parked down the street. I'd like to go down there and see if there's anything cool. Yeah, I like the Tilt-A-Whirl.
Slip and slide. That's all. So have a good time. Enjoy yourself.
Speaking of Tilt-A-Whirl, I remember actor Ron Silver was doing a movie back about, 1989 or so, called Enemies: A Love Story, which took place in 1940s New York City. He was a Russian immigrant in the movie.
Oh, wow.
And so they said to him, okay, we're going to be doing the Tilt-A-Whirl scene today. And so he's like, okay. But then they said, oh, you know what? We've canceled the Tilt-A-Whirl scene. We're not going to film today. He's like, okay. So he chowed down, I think, 2 large slices of pepperoni and sausage pizza. And then after he did that, they said, oh, you know what? Actually, we're going to be doing the Tilt-A-Whirl scene after all today.
Yeah, we changed our mind. Hope you didn't eat.
Remember having a nightmare after that for some reason.
That is too much. I got to get going.
Okay, well, hey, you know what? We're going to continue the conversation another time. And Nolan, thanks for coming on here and being with us. And next time we're going to talk more about your time at the Fish, as well as some other cool stories.
Didn't really talk about
in
the
regards
fish too much,
to we didn't talk much about fish. Yeah. You put the bait on the hook and some marshmallows. That'll attract the fish right there.
We'll talk later. We'll definitely talk later. And if you like these podcasts from JJ, hey, send him a couple of bucks, okay? Buy him lunch or something like that, okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nolan. By the way, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now if you haven't done so already. It's free. And also our email is joshdj57@gmail.com. That's joshdj57@gmail.com. And we're going to conclude this podcast with Nolan's final sign-off on 95.9 The Fish, which was in Orange County, California from August 2000 through January 2025. And Nolan was afternoons there from September 2014 until the very end.
Southern California's 95.9 The Fish. Hi, it's Nolan. I can't thank you enough for listening and how so many of you have taken the time to send stories to me. I am so grateful. And I thought on this last day of 95.9 The Fish, and becomes 95.9 Air 1 with more Christian music. I'd like to squeeze in one more story, like Goldie in Long Beach, who asked me to read this to you. It's about a pastor who asked an older farmer decked out in bib overalls to say grace for the morning breakfast. Lord, I hate buttermilk, the farmer began. The pastor opened one eye and glanced at the farmer, wondering, where is this going? The farmer loudly proclaimed, Lord, I hate lard. Now the pastor was growing a little concerned. Without missing a beat, the farmer continued, and Lord, I don't much care for raw white flour. The pastor once again opened an eye to glance around the room and saw that he wasn't the only one feeling a little uncomfortable. Then the farmer added, but Lord, when you mix them all together and bake them, I do love those warm, fresh biscuits. So Lord, when things come up that we don't like, when life gets hard, when we don't understand what you're saying to us, help us to just relax and wait until you're done mixing. It will probably be better than biscuits. Within that prayer, there is great wisdom for all. When it comes to complicated situations like we're experiencing in the world today, stay strong, my friends, because our Lord is mixing several things that we don't really care for, but something even better is going to come when He is done with it. God bless you. It's been an honor to serve you. Good night, my friends.